Okay, hey again, everybody. It's Rob, your career success coach here at Yellowtail, and I'm with Stefano Pipito, who has some great news. Stefano, tell us what's been happening in your life, man.
So I originally worked at the IT help desk with a company called Genworth, but then I took the Yellowtail Tech program, and now I am a Linux system administrator for Canadian Banknote.
Right on, man. Congratulations. How's things been going so far?
Everything's been going pretty great. We had a couple of interviews with them, um, and they really liked what I showed them in my resume, so they wanted to move forward with hiring me. And my first day is on the 2nd of October. It's coming up next
Oh,
week.
right on, man. I know you're excited. So during the interview and everything, do you feel like Yellowtail had prepared you for those interviews?
I would say, yeah, definitely. Yellowtail definitely prepared me because we had to do 3 mock interviews, and they were very similar to what the interview with Canadian Banknote was like. They they have like the first interview was kind of like personable questions, a little bit of technical questions, and then the second one was like mostly technical, really getting into the nitty gritty of like how to use Linux. And thanks to the program, I was able to answer his questions like pretty accurately and good enough for me to get the job.
Yeah, right, right. You must have done something right, right? So you had a full-time job then while you were going to class at Yellowtail, man. How did you manage your time, man? I would imagine that's almost, I mean, the program itself, and then that's almost like having 2 full-time jobs, man.
Yeah, it was a lot. So like I would get off work at like 4:30, and then a few hours later I'd have to go to class. But it wasn't every single day having to go to class, but and usually I would spend my time on the weekends studying, so that way
Okay.
I still had some time.
Yeah, but that's kind of like you're paying your dues era, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. And you've got an interesting background, and I always admired this because I came from that world. You were studying to be a game designer and everything, and then you opted out of that and decided you wanted to go into Linux and whatnot. It's funny, your cat was kind of batting in the background up on
Oh
the
my
shelf
goodness.
there. So how's that transition been for you, man? Was it tough coming in, without having any Linux experience and everything?
Um, it was a little bit tough starting out. I did take one class in college that did teach me like the essentials of Linux, like simple commands like chmod or like how to change into a different directory. So I had just a little bit of a background with the usage, the
Yeah.
syntax of Linux, and that helped. That did help me a little bit, but after like the first couple of weeks, it was all new stuff from Yellowtail, and I was learning, and it was definitely a lot of information, but I think it was definitely manageable, and I'm
How
really, yeah, sorry.
I mean, it's a lot to absorb. Do you have any like study tips that you could pass on? Like, how did you organize yourself and everything?
My study tips would be to just find a spot in your schedule where you're available for like an hour or two, just to like go over just the syntax of commands. I would say is a big thing, and also just actually logging into the terminal and practicing like working on a Linux machine, because the practice makes perfect, really.
Yeah, yeah, good. I like that, man. I like that. Um, After you got your certification, you went into the Procore apprenticeship. How was that experience for you?
Um, I really love that experience because it really put me into like a real Linux environment where I could like actually work with a bunch of different applications all at once. Like we worked with Ansible, Foreman, Bacula, Qualys, GitLab, just just a little bit of everything. So it helped me prepare for like the real Linux world by having a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Were there a lot of questions about those applications when you were doing your interviews and stuff?
They he said that they mostly use Puppet, and I didn't have any Puppet experience, but he was okay with like training me with it. And he also did use Nagio, so I remember he said that was one of the ones that we
Yeah.
studied at Procore, and he uses Nagios at his job.
So going using Puppet instead of, what would that be the substitute for? Like for what?
Docker and Podman, I think.
Okay. So I guess, he realized that because you have that knowledge of, what the tool does and everything, it's almost just like learning the syntax to a different coding language or something. It's kind of like you understand the principles, so you can jump into that rather easily.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, dude, man, tell me, how is your financial life going to change, or is it? Is it going to be better?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to be better. I'm pretty much almost doubling my salary with this new job.
Wow, congratulations, man. And is this a remote position, or are you going into an office?
It's like mostly remote, but he said I would have to come into the office like on occasion when they need me.
Yeah.
Like maybe for like a meeting or something.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool too, because then you get to meet your coworkers and hopefully have an opportunity to bond and learn from them and everything too. So, man, I know you worked hard at your job search, and you stayed with it even when, it's easy to get down or to get discouraged and everything. And I applaud you for staying positive and constantly moving forward. My last question for you is, any tips that you can offer either on the job search itself, or tips for those that are interested in getting into IT? What would you advise them?
I would say if you're interested in IT, definitely just go for it. You're going to make the right decision as long as you have you decently understand computers a bit, and you want to learn more about it, and you're interested in learning about computers and Linux itself. And I would definitely, you should go for it. You can do it. I think anyone can do it if they put in the right amount of time and effort into it. And for job searching, I would say just always apply to something every single day. Like I would say just put in a few applications each day and try to get the ones that newly pop up on the feed, because those are the ones that don't have many applicants yet, and so you're more likely to actually get looked at instead of submitting an application to something that already has 50 people. So it's a lot less likely for you to get the job if there's a ton of applicants. But if you're first, you have a better shot.
Stefano, thanks for talking to me today, man. And we're all of us here at Yellowtail are super happy for you, man. And we know you're going to do great things.
All right, thank you.